So I started to build our company, and very early on, I was frustrated because so many times I would have a team meeting, or we would be working on something, and I wouldn't see the characteristics that I thought were mandatory for our business to grow, and it frustrated me. Hi, my name's Chase Ellinger. I'm the CEO of Taika Translations. We're a multi-million dollar translation, digital services, and interpretation company. And when I would build early on, when I was building our company, and I didn't see those values that I thought were necessary for, like, absolutely a necessity for us to be able to survive. It was very frustrating to me as a business owner. And I thought, sometimes I thought, you know what, if we can't understand, if our team can't understand, like, and fully embrace these principles, there's no way we're going to survive, because I can't alone lift our company and carry us through the storms of business if these are not a reality. And so it was very frustrating to me, and this was like, I don't know, a couple years where I just was really trying to understand how to deal with this problem. And my go-to thing, when I'm in that situation, is to go and read, find people who have done this, better leaders than myself, people who've been down the road and have successful businesses, um, and have gotten through really hard times. If there is something that is very, very, maybe a lesson that I learned early in life, is that if you want to achieve any level of greatness, find someone who's endured a lot of pain and challenge and suffering, and still has an optimistic and hopeful outlook, and find what they're doing and just copy a lot of the stuff that they're doing. And that's what I learned early on. And so my go-to is to read that kind of material. And I started reading, and I read Entrepreneurship. I read The Power to Lead. I read a few different business books, and one that I just landed on that hit home so powerfully during that time was the book from Patrick Lencioni called The Advantage. And Patrick Lencioni outlines a lot of different things in that book. One about, he talks about the five dysfunctions of a team, but that wasn't necessarily the main problem. The main problem for us was not a perfectly clear set of values that we were aligned around, and that our team understood was absolutely mandatory for our operations each and every day. And so when I found that book and started working through the 6 questions, and I've talked about the 6 questions a few times in different videos that I've put out, but when I realized, as the CEO of a company, what my actual role is in constantly creating cascade communication around all of our values and making them come to life in our day-to-day activities, that changed everything in my business. It transformed our business in a matter of weeks, when I understood, oh, I need to be doing this as a business leader, as an owner, as a CEO of our company, as a mentor to my team. And when I understood that, oh man, it's almost painful because I think back and I was like, man, how much pain I went through in order to get to that. However, once I understood that, and once I learned the lesson of creating the core values, not just creating them, but putting them on some kind of a placard on the wall. Actually, our core values are not on any placards, on any wall, anywhere. They're more written down on the minds and hearts of our team members. And the way that I do that is by constant communication and reminding. And whenever I see a situation in our organization that demonstrates or has anything whatsoever to do connected remotely to that core value, I draw it out and say, hey, look, this is us doing our core value. So proactive living out the book and never giving up. Those, the 3 core values that make Taika tick. And I can just roll them off my tongue at any time, in any place, and any conversation that we're having. Oh, here is an example of you being proactive and actually living out our core value. Excellent work. Well done. Let's keep that going. Or here's an example of you not being proactive right now in this situation, And we need to fix that immediately, because this is not who we are as a team. This is not what builds our company. And sometimes those conversations are had. But regardless, clearly identifying not 25, not 150, I mean 3 to 5 max, I would say, of the intrinsic core values to your company, and then making a part of your daily rhythm of management and leadership, to go to identify those in the activity of your work, because they're there. It's already there. Like, this isn't the craziest thing that I didn't realize. Patrick John Lencioni so eloquently outlines this, is that these values, they're already there in the work that you're doing. You simply need to draw them out and identify them. They're as individualistic to you as you are an individual. They are there right now in your organization. You simply have to identify them. They're values that you value dearly, and that you've had probably from your work from the very beginning. You just haven't clearly identified them and said, look, these are the ones that make us successful, that we value, and that we believe drives the most success in our business. And these are the ones that I'm going to, these few, 3 to 5. We have 3. And Patrick Lencioni says, really try not to make more than 5, because if you have integrity and service and customer relationship excellence and all of these other things, if you just have these generalized terms that everybody kind of interprets in their own way, I know the ones I mentioned are not incredibly specific, but if you have them too generalized, everybody kind of starts to get their own definitions of those, and the full impact of their meaningfulness to your organization gets lost. So, first of all, the leader, if you want to avoid that frustration, if you want to if you want to actually get your team aligned around what matters to your company and what drives your business forward, because you as a business know and feel, a business owner know and feel this already. You sit down, take the time to work through and work out what the core values are for your company. And one of the best ways to do this is by looking back in your team's history, your past experience with your team, working with your team, and saying, okay, here's a team member that was amazing, that really, like, this team member outlines exactly what we as a company believe is true about creating success, forging the success in the manufacture of business. And you just dissect some of the team members that you have, or maybe it's just you as the owner. Maybe it's you as the owner, and you have one maybe team member, or maybe if you're a tiny team, you have 2 team members. You can talk about what makes us tick. If as long as you all agree, and that, I mean, as long as you're all connected and you have open communication and you can trust each other, and you're able to communicate that level. But if you don't, one of the great places to go, if you're a business owner and you're married, is your spouse. You could go talk to your spouse and say, what is it about that? What do you know that is true about me and about what I believe that would be a core value that really makes us tick? That I really deeply intrinsically believe is going to be the driving factor behind us being successful. And you can work this out with, and so it should be a pretty close relationship that you have a conversation with. And my team members, I have very close relationships with them, and that's why we're able to do this so smoothly. So, and the contrary goes. What if you've been in business for any period of time? You've probably had some team members come who are awesome and stay, and some team members go who are not awesome and they didn't stay. Either you had to let them go, or they chose to leave because they weren't performing, whatever the cause is. And you can dissect those as well. You say, okay, what was it about that team member that left, or that we had to let go, that was not demonstrating those values that we hold dear? And this is a very helpful and very easy way to start identifying those core values for your organization. And once you do this, then you draw them. Then you've gone through the process once, and these don't really change. They don't change at all. Unless you could add one if it becomes like a really consistent theme for multiple years, and you as a business owner um, or executive, you really see this again and again and again, and it becomes a very strong and powerful theme, and you're like, okay, that is something that's definitely valued to us. We've learned something new, and we need to add that because maybe we didn't see it before, maybe it wasn't as clear before. Um, Maybe it took us just some more experience to be able to understand it. Those things can happen, but the the defining of these and then the continual daily reminding, like daily and multiple times per day, as you go about your communications with your team and with your clients and whoever, drawing that out and saying, okay, this is a core value. Actually, this is a core value. Sometimes when we're in a sales meeting, my sales guy will be like, oh, this is a core value for our company. And I didn't even say anything about it, but he actually said it, or she actually said it. And it's like, man, that's so cool when when you actually start to see your team start talking about those things, and then it just brings them to life. It brings those values to life, and then you stop having a misalignment or a disconnect. And when people are getting hired in your company, you make fewer hiring mistakes because you realize they don't value the things that you value. And that's great. Like if somebody comes on and you find out that they're an awesome, they have great skills, but they don't value the things that you value intrinsically, then you don't hire them. And that's so awesome because that just saved you a world of trouble. And then you actually find somebody who's pretty good, and they do value the things that you value, and that team member can jump into your organization and just get involved and get deep into the culture, and then start producing and start being a producer of culture. I mean, that is so exciting, and that's the reality of Taika Translations. That's our company. That's what my team does each and every day. And it's amazing to be an owner of such a company. And so that's something I want to share with the leaders out there who are struggling around getting their team members aligned. And hopefully this has been a help and to maybe just like maybe a refresher for somebody who's been just at it and working hard and getting through some of the challenges that you're facing in business. You're like, man, there's still some misalignment, and I'm still having some trouble with all of my team members being clear about what our values are and why we have to work this way, and what we actually believe is true to make us successful. And if you do appreciate this video, and if you do get value out of this video and it's actually helpful to you, please like and subscribe. I make videos every single day, and please like and subscribe and share with somebody out there who might need the information, and look forward to seeing you in the next one.